And Route 22 took on Buttless Gyarados with Venusaur and one-handedly. Departed Pokemon League gate for the next destination. You can pass here only if you've got the Cascade badge. Managed to get out of Victory Road after wandering about.
Because I forgot strength.
Departed for the Pokemon League for the next destination, and Rosette saved the game at Victory Road.
Oh, and by the way, previously on X-Men. Moving on now. So we're back at Victory Road. Now, I'm assuming we have brought a proper Pokemon who can use strength.
Yeah.
Alex, you're not comforting me.
I don't know. Of course I did.
Yes, you brought Burden. No, that's not that. What did we name your Snorlax? I can't remember.
Noirlax.
That's right, Noirlax. Ah!
Shoutouts to my friend Ricky.
Noirlax.
Ricky Chen. All the way down there in Australia, mate.
All the way there in Australia? Blimey.
Crikey. Blimey's what I think. Well, I mean, they're all essentially English because Australia was. Actually, it still is. It's an English Commonwealth.
It's an English Commonwealth, but originally it was a prison colony.
Yes, it once was a prison colony.
It was Britain's version of Alcatraz. Wow, that worked out so well for you, didn't it?
Only like a million times more massive.
Yeah, that too. All right, so we're continuing on. So I think it's pretty safe to assume in the next few parts you're going to be taking on the Elite Four.
Yes.
Damn you, man. You are so far ahead of me. Because as of where I'm recording right now, I just barely got my 7th badge. So, yeah. I think it's fairly safe to say Alex is going to finish before me. That's just the way these things go, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is why he's in charge of the Let's Plays for Pokemon from here on in. As we've kind of mentioned, since this is the transition from Game Boy Advance to Nintendo DS. And yeah, emulators, there technically are some, but we have other means now to be able to record that, Alex.
Which is good, because our Nintendo's cracking hard on the emulators.
Yes, they are. They hate them very much.
Which is a shame.
They hate them with a passion.
Nintendo, come on.
Well, in my opinion, what's more shameful? The fact that they're cracking down on them, or the fact that their answer to them is to put out NES systems that have like 20 games in them?
I'd say a bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I mean, heaven forbid, what if this came out like on like the Wii U or the Switch and their little, their games?
Well, first of all, that would be amazing. And I've been calling for that for years.
Then you could play it like this version on the Switch.
Seriously, you had Super Mario Land coming out. I believe, like they had Game Boy games on the Wii on the Wii Virtual Console, and I think Mario Land was there. I think eventually for the Wii U, Link's Awakening made it there. No, it made it to the 3DS eShop. But you had those. Pokemon couldn't have made it to the Wii or the Wii U. I know it made it to the 3DS, people. I get that, and I already have questions as to why I have to constantly be advertised that there is, in fact, a French and Spanish version, when in reality... Before people jump down my throat, the 3DS knows my language. I have told it that. I don't need to be advertised that there's a French version.
I think it's... I don't know how it works exactly, but my guess is because it's tailored for North America, because that's what Nintendo of America really covers, is all of North America. So.
Probably.
So of course it's considering Canada and the US.
Isn't on the 3DS you can get Pokemon Yellow and...
Yeah.
Yes, and you can get 3 versions of it. You can get the US version, or the English-speaking version, you can get the French-speaking version, and you can get the Spanish-speaking version.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is make your eShop a little smarter so that it can tell, like, okay, this guy speaks this language. Then he doesn't need to be advertised that, and that way you don't troll me by having an extra page of your eShop.
Yeah, but it doesn't know that but for all it knows, you could be bilingual. Right? What if you're from French Canada?
Damn it, Alex. How dare you interject logic into my argument? Damn it.
It's like there's a lot of
It's just one of those things that I have a little bit of a beef with the 3DS eShop. One, it should be bigger. And two, it's just like, if you look at all of the games that have French and Spanish versions, not just Pokemon, there are a couple of other Nintendo classics that do too. You could literally make a page out of them. And so at that point, it's like, oh, well, can we just have these eliminated so that I can then not be teased at the fact that you have less than what you actually have? But fix the first problem first. Get more games on there. And by the way, so a lot of people were a little irritated. So in real time, we just barely recorded my return to the podcast last night.
Yay!
And people were mad that I didn't cover the PlayStation Classic. Why did I not cover the PlayStation Classic? Because I've said the shtick before. I'm not getting it. It's not interesting to me. You only have 20 games on there. The PlayStation had a much bigger library than that. I'm not getting it. So there you go. It's been covered.
There you go, guys. There's extra lightning round for the day.
I get that people love the idea that Sony's doing what Nintendo's doing, except I've never been on board with the NES Classic or the SNES Classic or the GameCube Classic or whatever else they decide to do. I've never been on board with it because they don't put enough games on there. And I already know for a fact, I've looked into the hardware specs of those systems. They have enough storage to be able to put at least 100 on there. And so at that point, I'm literally going 20, and you could have put on 100? I'm going to settle for a minimum of 80. Put on 80 games, and then we'll talk. But, Drak, they don't have access to 80 games. Yeah, technically they do. Because a lot of those games that are public domain, they could bring in.
Do you think they can fit that many?
What on earth would be public domain?
There are a couple of failed companies that, like, for example, I know, like, Wisdom Tree, for some reason, it's all public domain.
That wouldn't be public domain.
Wisdom Tree's games aren't?
No. The public domain, just because your company fails does not make your company public domain. You would actually have to get it legally ruled that the copyright is invalid.
Damn it, Alex, stop interjecting our logic into this argument.
Public, everything goes, I'm not sure. Let's say copyright law is like, I think it's lifetime of the author in like 70 years after. 70 years after.
Yeah.
Thanks, Disney.
Thanks. But that's my problem. Is like, if you could store more games than that, then... And a lot of these games aren't accessible, okay?
I know.
They're not. That's why the emulator scene is as helpful as it is. I mean, for crying out loud, it took... Okay, literally, I can't remember the exact year this game came out, but as Crystallis on by SNK, it took until literally this year since I last played it to be able to have access to Crystallis. Okay?
Yeah.
And now I can play that on PS4. That's amazing. I love Crystallis. We might even play it on the channel. I don't know. But up until that point, like, you couldn't find the cartridge. It was already pretty limited. I had to rent it to be able to play it so my family could play it. And every time that I would come across it, which wasn't that many, like I come across a Crystallis cartridge, I don't have an NES at that point. So... That's why an emulator is an amazing thing.
Yes.
If you're so pissed off the emulators, Nintendo, then my answer to you is simply incorporate them. Oh, wait, you did that, except you did it in a really stupid way. Your virtual console is nowhere near as big as the emulator markets.
Yeah. Simple answer. Take the sites, monetize them.
And here's the thing. Okay, take the public domain thing out of the argument. Are you telling me that these companies or whoever owns the license to these things don't want to earn money? Really? You don't think if you offered Konami a way to earn money with Castlevania because you're going to do a whole bundle on Switch or whatever, that they aren't going to jump at the opportunity? They are. They're probably going to charge you for it, which is what you don't like. But you might as well take advantage of that because people are going to buy Castlevania. Which means they're going to look at your shop. Which means they're going to buy more games.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. There you go.
This rant has been brought to you by Drakatol.
Drakatol. Drakatol.
If life doesn't make sense, Drak comes in and punches it for you.
Life make no sense. Drak punch life in the face.
Drak punch life in the face and enjoy it very much. The other thing that I probably should address here is how much time do we actually have on this episode? I don't. Okay, we probably have enough. Why do I hate Crunchyroll and VRV? Well, because the app's broke.
Yeah.
And I can't watch anime on Roku anymore, or much less on my PC.
Does it still crash it all the time?
Okay, so here's what actually happens, because people were asking like what the error was. Here's what happens. Crunchyroll, and I've tried both the individual Roku app for Crunchyroll and VRV, the VRV version of it.
Right.
What will happen is that somewhere the video will lag, and you will get a still frame, but the audio is still going.
Right.
And the subtitles are still going. And when the video actually catches up to you, assuming it does, it starts from where it left off.
Right.
So you can have audio that's 5 minutes in advance. Yes, I've actually timed it out, people. 5 minutes in advance. And we're not talking like YouTube where it does that weird fast forward catch up. Mm-hmm. We're talking it goes from where it left off and it continues. So you could literally have the audio end and you just have a static image or a static animation going through. Right. So that happens on both. For me now, I can't watch VRV or Crunchyroll because that happens if it's anime. If it's other things, it just outright crashes my Roku. Not even kidding on that.
Wow.
I tried. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Nick Splat happened. Right?
Yeah.
And I said this on the podcast. I tried to watch some of the Nickelodeon game shows. I couldn't even get 10 seconds into the episode. Well, the Rokus, they wouldn't even get into the episode. They'd crash before that. And then I did it on my PC and got blue screened.
That sucks.
But what's really sad, too, is like, okay, well, just watch Crunchyroll on PC then. That solves your problem. Like, yuck. No, same problem on Crunchyroll for my PC.
Wow, even Crunchyroll's giving you problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
so much so I'm not paying them right now.
And it's the website, right? Not
yeah, going to the website and using that.
Wow, because I can't speak for VRV, but Crunchyroll's been working fine for me.
But you want to know what's really funny?
Yeah, what?
Is that this is happening to me fairly recently. There have been people who this has been happening and they've been complaining for a year in the forums to get this fixed.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You had these problems and you refuse to fix them. I'm not even going to go into the website. Yeah, the website's kind of broken, but your app, like the thing that people are coming to you for, to watch anime, they can't do. And yet you're going to go and publish out original content before fixing that? I think even Netflix would look you in the eye and go, you're an idiot. Because Netflix made sure that service worked, and then they started doing original content.
Yeah.
Oh, he just hates High Guardian Spice because it's all girls. No, I don't. I actually don't have a problem with an all-girl show, and I have no problem with a 100% female written show. My only problem is that if you all are from the exact same line of thought, you're going to write a turd, and nobody is going to see it as a turd. I'm passionate about these arguments. Can you tell?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And watch, it'll come out. People will probably review it negatively, and it will be right back to where we started.
Well, I think
you just hate women in shows and women.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately that also happened. Like this is what I like to call Mighty Number 9 syndrome, is that unfortunately people were already way too burned over all the controversy that happened with the game that they didn't realize that if they didn't have all of that, it actually was a pretty decent game. Okay. And so at that point, yeah, this is going to happen with High Guardian Spice, and you're also going to have the ultra opposite saying it's absolutely amazing and don't ever question it kind of thing. That's going to happen. But unfortunately, now you have the, again, Mighty Number 9 syndrome, where people are going to remember this controversy and they're not going to care.
Isn't 99 like something related to the 99 Egg Man?
Mighty Number 9?
Mighty
Yeah.
Number 9.
Mighty Number 9 was basically supposed to be a reimagining of Mega Man.
Oh.
Of Mega Man.
But it wasn't from Inafune. In fact, it was from an indie developer that was creating a very similar story, and they brought in Keiji Inafune to judge it. And from that point, like, Keiji loved it, and he advertised the hell out of it. So that's why a lot of people then jumped onto that Kickstarter, is because he got the seal of approval of the father of Mega Man. And then all the other crap happened where he wanted to do, what was it, Crimson something, and that was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends.
Inafune is credited as writer of Mighty Number 9, so
Yeah, he's also credited with that because he jumped on.
yeah.
As soon as he saw how good it was. I just know that there was like a solid month or something like that where they were working on it, and then they brought in Inafune and had him try it, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing," and he joined. So that's going to be the sad reality, is that it doesn't matter if High Guardian Spice is good or not. The controversy is going to be remembered. So I'm just going to go ahead and be honest, because this was one thing I did get asked. Are you even going to watch High Guardian Spice? No, the trailer didn't convince me. If you want to put out another trailer, I'll say I'll watch that. But what you tried to do with the High Guardian Spice commercial, it didn't sell me at all. In fact, it made me worried. Especially at that point, that was around the time when Verve broke down on me. So,
Oh my god, sorry, I just read this. Due to the game's sluggish development, this is about Mighty Number 9, due to the game's sluggish development and Concept's decision to credit all 71,493 Kickstarter backers, the closing credits is just under 3 hours and 48 minutes long, the longest in any media.
yeah.
That's so...
This is why I applaud Yacht Club for their way of being able to appreciate the Kickstarter backers. You just make a level. Just make a level, put up a bunch of portraits. Yes, it's extra work. Does that suck? Yeah, probably. But
Well, most have a pretty... I don't know, decent... Most Kickstarters have some sort of decent... pay-in system. I can't say there's like a consistency, or because it always depends on the project, but you know, there's always like, oh, contribute this amount to get a credit.
yeah, now they do that. But like, I remember when Broken Age came out, and they had to do a long credit reel for that too, because they wanted to show the support of the Kickstarter backers.
Yeah.
And that's gonna end you up with credit scenes that last longer than Sega.
Then your credit scenes longer than your game even.
Pretty much. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question, guys. This is why I'm not paying into Crunchyroll or Verve right now. And until they fix their app, I'm not willing to go back. What's really sad too is one of the things that actually made me want to go back to Verve was when you guys covered the Detective Conan and Conan O'Brien story.
Right.
And I wanted to go and watch some Detective Conan. Only I couldn't. Because streaming. So thanks, Verve. Thanks, Crunchyroll.
Verve.
I'm glad it's working for you,
Yeah.
but it's not working for
I
me.
haven't tried Verve or anything, but Crunchyroll still works alright for me.
No, and what's sad is like earlier this year when I actually got on Verve, like I had solid streaming from them. And I know because I abused the hell out of Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay? I watched a lot of stuff on there. I actually watched Outlaw Star on it. First time in a while. Cowboy Bebop I watched on it. No problems. I even watched Dragon Ball Super on it. And they weren't even that far in. And no problems. And then all of a sudden we get to August and I'm trying to feed my kid. And no, you don't get to watch it. You don't get to watch Goku Black. Because you get to watch a static image of it. So, dear Crunchyroll, hi, Drak here. Kind of a fan. Listen, fix your app first, and then worry about original content. Oh, but then Netflix will take over. Well,
Netflix already has.
Netflix already has, and guess what? They did that. They made sure their streaming service worked, and then they started doing the original content.
Let's see. Although, don't address it to Crunchyroll. Address it to Elation. You know, the actual owners. Of
The
the
actual
company.
owner, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Elation and TV Tokyo, but mostly Elation.
Yes, please send them your concerns, because I think they need to have a hard slap in the face. And I guess we're ending the episode on slap in the face.
Yeah, and flap in the face.
Ow!